Hello, boys and girls. I would like to talk to you now today about your story for today. Your story is called King Hoppalot, and it's quite a fun and interesting story, but it can need a little bit of explaining. So I'd like to go through it with you. So if you have your English notes with you, have the story in front of you and also a piece of paper and a pen or pencil because I'd like to go through the questions with you and maybe you can write down the answers or you can just listen and then I'll explain it to you and you can write the answers down afterwards or you can listen to the video again. So let's have a look. The story, boys and girls, is called King Hoppalot. Long, long ago, a spoilt king, who was used to getting everything his way, complained that his feet always hurt. King Hoppalot wanted someone to come up with a plan to cover the entire forest with soft material so that his feet would not hurt when he walked about. Can you see the king with no shoes on? A very clever young man named Bright heard that the king offered gold to the person with the best plan. He advised the king to cover his feet instead of changing the entire forest. The king had a pair of covers made from animal skin, and his problem was solved. The lesson in this story is a little bit of logic goes a long way. Can you see the picture? Can you imagine if people had to cover the whole forest in soft material, how long that would take? Instead, they had to do something as simple as just covering the king's feet. Let's look at the questions. What is the moral of the story? What is the story trying to teach you? Boys and girls, I would say the moral of the story is that we should use our logic, our powers of thinking, to solve problems and not think of silly solutions. The king really thought of a silly solution there. So what was the king's problem? His feet hurt when he walked about in the forest. What was his silly solution? He wanted to cover the entire forest with soft material so that his feet wouldn't hurt. What was the logical solution that Bright thought of? The king should just cover his feet and not the whole forest. That is why he had a pair of slippers made. What does it mean when it says a little bit of logic goes a long way? It means that we can solve seemingly difficult problems just by using our logic, our brains. So if you have a problem, don't use the first solution that you can think of. Think harder until you come up with a logical solution. Why do you think the king made such a ridiculous request? I think the king made a request such as this because he was spoilt and powerful and used to getting his own way. When people are spoilt, boys and girls, they just want their own way and sometimes they think that people must do everything for them, no matter how silly it is. So now I'd like you to think of some ways you can change your behavior to help others. Are you spoiled like the king? Or maybe you can be more helpful around the house. So think of some things that you are doing right now. Some behavior that you are doing. Maybe you can be nicer to your brother or sister, not cheat your parents so much. A good rule is to remember is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And what does this mean? It means that you must treat others the same way you want to be treated. For example, if you want your brother to share something with you, then you must share with him. Okay, boys and girls, I hope that helped you understand the story and what happened with King Hoppalot. And I wonder if you can think of a time when you thought of a really silly solution that caused so much drama and trouble, when you could have just done it an easier way. I hope this video helped you to understand the story and to answer the question.